Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TateOnChain podcast. I'm your host, Tate, and today I'm joined with Paul, the creator and co-founder of Diffused Labs, which was born from Pandemania. Paul, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing today?
Doing very well, and I'm excited to have you guys on as you guys just launched your premium and basic INO NFTs on Kabila's Launchpad. But before we get into that, I'd like to give a brief breakdown on my understanding of what Diffused Labs is. So, Diffused Launchpad provides tools for token creators and developers across multiple chains. They facilitate the growth of DeFi in a secure and verifiable manner across various ecosystems. Is that about right?
Yeah, man. We're just trying to bring, simple tools to DeFi on Hadera, that's not accessible currently at the moment.
Nice. And from my understanding, you'll be venturing outside of Hadera as well in the future, right? With like Solana and Base.
Yeah, I do know HA Panda does have ideas about, going cross chain and getting involved in other ecosystems as well. I don't know how far down the road is on the roadmap or kind of, what we're thinking there, but I do know he has some thoughts about that currently, yes.
Nice. It's a cool idea to venture cross chain as well because it only brings more exposure back to your native chain.
For sure.
All right. So my first question for you: what inspired the creation of Diffuse Labs?
Yeah, I know Ancient Panda when he was transitioning from Pandamania to Diffuse Labs that he wanted to, create something more sustainable. Currently in the gaming market or kind of the niche he was kind of, in at the current moment, it draws a certain crowd, right?
Yeah.
So he was trying to make more of a statement and, brand himself here that might last for years. And he knew DeFi was a huge sector in all chains, right? So
Yeah.
he knew if he could create something here, he would create something long lasting.
Nice. That's a very smart approach. And I mean, you're not wrong about DeFi being very long lasting, especially on Hedera. Two great points. So, what are some of the unique features that you plan on offering on this launchpad to compared to existing platforms?
Yeah, one of the bigger ones too, which is a couple other platforms do it as well, but the aggregator I think is going to be huge, right? You're not going to have to go to multiple dexes to kind of figure out what price they're offering, what's the lowest price, what's the fees and stuff. Like typically, an aggregator will give you one of the better options for pricing.
Okay.
Number two is obviously the order book. I mean, that's something huge here on Hedera that's been needed for quite some time, and it's going to be really cool to see HA to put that together and release that. People will now be able to buy and sell and buy and sell orders. On HTS, on HBAR, and that's needed over on this ecosystem. A lot of degens they get inside the HTS ecosystem to trade, and they're constantly watching charts, which
Yeah.
you obviously you'll still have to watch charts, but an order book will make it just a little more simpler for more advanced traders.
Yeah, it's a good point. You can also set, take profits and stop losses with those order books, and it helps,
Yeah,
get into that perfect price entry that you may be looking for compared to say like just a basic market entry where it gives you, the certain amount of tokens depending on where you're entering the market at.
yeah. I think what's really interesting about like you said, the order book as well is you know the the crypto market is 24/7, right? It's not like the stock market. Like you could go to sleep and then something's at 5 cents and wake up and it's at 10 cents, right?
Yeah.
And you could have completely round trip that and woke up back at 7 cents. To have that option where you can do something like that, kind of relieve a little pressure on yourself. I think it'll help a lot of H barbarians out.
Yeah, that's a great point. I want to transition a little bit to like security. I'm curious to know how the team plans to ensure security and compliance of projects launched on the platform and, tokens as well, because you plan on offering a token creation tool as well. Is that right?
Yes. So the auditing process, I know Japan has reached out to many services currently, and we're kind of figuring out the best option for that. I do know he's going to use a lot of the community devs as well. That's
Nice.
kind of offered their services as well. So I'm not going to get into specific names, just due to I don't know exactly who
Sure.
he's for sure with, but I do know a lot of the community devs that are building tools here currently are going to actually do some auditing for the website as well. And then, like I said, we're looking at auditing services, to obviously get in there once our full test net is, complete and everything.
Yeah.
When it comes to tokens, it's a tricky spot, especially when it comes to decentralized finance. You don't want to start gatekeeping essentially who can launch tokens and kind of who can't, even with like special passes or cards or, a governance vote, because then it's almost not decentralized no more.
Sure.
So when it comes to launching tokens, obviously it's do your own research and everything like that. Obviously, Diffused Labs isn't going to sponsor any tokens anytime soon, besides the Fuse token.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, when it comes to token creation, man, it's do your own research, right? I mean, just like anywhere else.
Makes sense. That's smart. And I mean, it'll only bring more exposure to the Diffuse Labs platform over time when you have, an open market for people to create what they, deem fit and necessary on their own terms. And hopefully, people aren't getting scammed and, losing tons of money. And so I only hope that if there were to be scam tokens created via Diffuse Labs Launchpad, that there is some sort of repercussions for going about that down in the near future. I don't know how that potentially play out, but it'd be cool to see potentially. You see a scam token launch, and it's obviously a scam token 3-4 months down the road. Potentially removing that token off of the platform could be
For
one of
sure.
those
Yeah, and
options.
that is a very liable, way to protect your platform as well, right?
Yeah,
Once you do get to a certain point as being, like, big or massive, maybe like Solana or Base, it might be a little more tricky to
yeah,
kinda, because coins are launching so many, right?
true.
You'd almost have to have, like, an AI kinda go through and like you said, liquidity hasn't been moved in 3 months, it's been pulled, nothing's been added, but then you're also looking at, potential holders. I do know right now, actually, I seen yesterday, the Lehman token, the one that rugged a while
Yeah,
ago,
yeah,
or yeah, I saw it was up like 200%,
yeah.
the other day, and it's due to, HES going crazy. So, even though there is scam tokens out there, wild things do happen when bull markets, take place. So
I guess that's the point of a community takeover here and there.
that is true.
Yeah. I'm curious to know now, what are some of the support mechanisms that are in place for developers and startups to use, the Diffuse Labs tools effectively?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's actually a really great question. I don't think I've really, dive deep with Ancient Panda, like, into something like that.
Sure.
But I do know, like, we are, once everything's fully up and running, I mean, obviously, we're probably going to need some more help, right?
Yeah.
We're going to need more help with, monitoring, the Discord and helping out on the page, maybe, more devs once everything's up and going. So, I mean, that is a great conversation. Me and, Ancient Panda actually need to sit down and have, potentially, how advanced involvement is going to be needed, to help somebody. I do know what Kabila's doing over there, great things. You're almost able to do almost anything
Yeah.
without, the dev or like direct help, just counseling more as well. So I think that's going to be kind of getting to our approach as well. Obviously, Oderbook is a little more advanced training, advanced trading. So I think we're going to create plenty of tutorials, stuff like that, have plenty of help for people that don't understand the more complexity of the order book. But I
Makes
think the
sense.
rest of the tools will be kind of self-service, almost like what Kabila does. It's self-service. Unless you need counseling or direct help, you can almost do everything you need to.
Yeah. That's a good point. And it helps whenever you have those guidance tutorials alongside, the self-service tools to just help follow along the process and make the process as easy as possible.
For sure.
Yeah. So how big's the team? I didn't break that down initially. I know it's you and Ancient Panda. Who else is on this team?
Yeah, and just a little correction from the beginning. I not the co-founder, CEO or nothing like that. As of right now, just pure marketing, and I
Sure.
do obviously a lot of community development and then help Ancient Panda as well.
Sure.
But technically, my role for now is just like direct marketing.
Gotcha. Okay.
But there's currently just three people. It's Ancient Panda, uh, uh, think cheeseburger. Don't quote me. I think I have to pull that up. I know it's
Sure.
some strange Discord name or something like that, but he's a dev, and then you
Gotcha.
have Agent Panda. So currently, there is only three of us completely running Diffuse Labs.
Nice.
Agent Panda is obviously taking care of all the background information, all the tokenomics, all that kind of stuff. I'm taking care of all the marketing, the X, the community development. Obviously, H Panda gets on X as well. He
Yeah.
be moving things, and as well stuff, but and then our devs. So currently there's just three.
Nice. That's it's small team, but with small teams comes tons of opportunities to grow. And I mean, you can always add more new members onto that team as well as you see and deem them fit to join the team. My apologies. I thought earlier. Honestly, I mean, I see you highlighting and marketing
Yeah,
Diffused Labs so much. I only could have assumed that you were a co-founder, but it makes sense. And I appreciate that
yeah,
clarity.
yeah. You're good. I just don't want to take that credit from Ancient Panda. I
Of
mean,
course.
as from I know there was another guy back with Pandemania that was I think co-founder with him that left since then.
Yeah.
And then so it's really just been H. Panda by himself. So I mean, he's really for the past year or so, whenever that last person he was working with left, he's kind of been running the project by himself. Besides the dev, but I mean, obviously the dev is just doing dev things.
Makes sense. So who would you say the primary target audience would be for the Launchpad and just Diffuse Labs in general?
I think anyone wanting fast, secure, cheap, and reliable decentralized finance on Hadera, right?
Okay.
I know there's other services, we're not going to mention all names and everything that, do DeFi on Hadera. I
Yeah.
do think there's a lot of things that could be done better. And I think there's some things, that could be changed to alter better experiences for retail DeFi, right? I mean, such like Orderbook. I mean, that's so huge over on the Solana network, right? On many platforms they've had for quite some time. So
Yeah.
I've just been surprised, being in the DeFi sector that we haven't really seen something like that. I do know there is I think there is one other platform creating an order book right now as well. I can't remember the name on top of my head, but I know
Is it
they
Da
got.
Vinci?
You said what?
Is it Da Vinci?
Oh no, not Da Vinci.
Gotcha.
It's one of the AI projects, not
Okay.
Hazen AI, but the HTAI bot or something like that.
Oh,
Don't quote me,
yeah,
but
I know what you're talking about, but I
yeah,
don't
yeah, they're
recall
they're
the name
also creating an order book as well, so it'll be really interesting. I don't. I'm a firm believer there's no such thing as really competition. The only competition you have is yourself,
of it.
right? You limit how far you can go and what you can do. Nobody else can stop that or do that for you. So
Yeah,
I love seeing other people innovate, and I love seeing other people bringing order book to the network. I mean, right? It just more options for more users when people flow in. So
great point. More opportunity to grow as well. All
yes.
of us together. I know you mentioned something about not necessarily, highlighting and marketing other various tokens that launch on the platform. Was that correct? In regards of like Diffuse Labs, how like sort of sponsoring those tokens or like,
Spawn, that's something me and Nature Panda would have to get more in detail with. And maybe there's a mechanism kind of like what Kabila does where there's things you have to meet or expectations that you have to hit before we could, put you on the main page as a sponsorship
gotcha.
or, share your content, stuff like that. Obviously, I love to be there for the community. I love supporting HTS,
Yeah,
as an individual, right? I love tweeting and retweeting and liking, but that's from my personal account, right?
of
Once
course.
you get into something where you're paying taxes and more liable for users, you kind of have to be more cautious on what you promote.
Of
Yes,
course.
this might be my buddy and I know him for a couple of years, but you know, or am I liable to put the business name on this token and say something happens in 3 to 6 months? You know what I mean?
It's a great point.
Obviously, there will get to a point, like I said, that we maybe there's expectations you have to hit and limits, and then there's something that can be worked out. That just actually something me and HFA that hasn't really addressed or talked about is either. So that's another great question.
Of course. The only reason why I ask it is because I want to transition into talking about the Fuse token. I'm curious how this will play a role within the Diffuse Labs ecosystem entirely.
Yeah, man, I'm super hyped for that. I know A Japan has been working really, really hard on the background. I mean, my man has reran these tokenomics a thousand times. I think I've
Wow.
I've got so many PDF files of just to be honest, I need to go in there and probably save the new updated one because I don't know which one's the newest one. So
Sure.
my man's been working tirelessly over these tokenomics, making sure they look good. I mean, he's been studying everyone's INO and their tokenomics in the HES ecosystem over the last couple months to make sure this kind of just plays out so well. I do know he has a lot of plans for the Fuse token, a lot of staking benefits, and a lot of like reasons to hold the Fuse token. on top of like the forever cards for better staking rewards and stuff like that. So I know he has a lot of plans for it, and I'm super excited to see how he transitions this and gets this LP rolling.
Yeah, me too. And so holding either a premium INO, a basic INO NFT, or the forever NFT, you'll be able to get granted access to a Fuse airdrop. I believe the forever NFT may be out of that picture, but the Fuse airdrops, it's open to the premium and the basic, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So the premium basic, you both get fuse airdrops. Both of them have their set amount of fuse that you will be airdropped, obviously. And
Yeah.
then what we kind of liked about this as well, we kind of did burning mechanisms as well. So a lot of people, after you get an INO, depending on the art, the art might look nice. Some people, make really good INO art, and it's almost a collectible after the fuse, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, we wanted to do something like that to kind of give you an option. Either you can hold the art or you can actually burn the INO NFT for more fuse. So
Okay.
currently you would get a airdrop for fuse, and then say you're like, hey, this art's cool, but I want some more fuse. I'm going to burn it. You could actually burn that INO NFT for some more fuse tokens as
Nice.
well.
So can you burn either or, like the premium and or basic?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Premium or basic, both of those can actually be burned for more fuse. So there's a multiplier on there. I don't know if Japan has actually released those numbers yet, so I won't give anything specific. But I do know there's like a multiplier for like how much each one's going to like burn for and how much you'll get. So,
Gotcha.
but that's really cool. After you get an INO drop or the initial fuse drop, some people might be flooring these, right?
Yeah.
Not realizing what's going on, being up to date. So it might be a good opportunity for some people to actually swoop in, pick up a lot of secondary INO cards for super cheap, and then be able
Yeah.
to in turn burn for fuse. So it was a cool little mechanism we kind of put in there to help out secondary, help out traders, help out, collectors if they wanted to keep the art. Gives you a couple options.
That's very clever. And I know Ancient Pandas released a plethora of NFT projects in the past. And I'm curious to know if you have any insight on how these former NFTs will play a role within the new Diffused Labs ecosystem. And, what are some of those benefits continuing to hold these previous NFTs?
Yeah, I do know Panda has actually released a Fuse airdrop qualification list, kind of like goes in depth detail exactly like what all these NFTs will entail. So
Okay.
obviously Panda is huge on supporting his original community, right? He started off, like you said, with many NFT projects, all the way from gaming all the way to more casino type games, right?
Yeah.
More of gambling type games. So he has a huge community already built and that's following him, and he wants to support them. So I do know a lot of like the older NFTs, like the clowns and elite pandas and like a whole bunch of other. There's a big list are going to get Fuse airdrops. So
Nice.
there is quite a bit of holders of the Fuse Labs currently with the old NFTs that will benefit from holding those NFTs.
They'll get options to stake these NFTs too, possibly.
That'd have to be more in depth with H Panda. I don't think we've
Gotcha.
really discussed that. I think the only thing right now we've really discussed about staking is the forever card.
Gotcha.
But I wouldn't be opposed to staking up older collection NFTs as well. That plays out in the tokenomics, and we can work that out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is there any NFT collections that AP's dropped in the past that may be excluded from the initial, airdrop of tokens or anything relating to Diffuse Labs?
Yeah, I currently don't have the exact list pulled up, but I do
Sure.
know in the Discord he's already like made an announcement. It's a
Okay.
it's a big, little spreadsheet with like 10 to 15, 20 different, token IDs that will get an airdrop. So I currently don't have that like directly pulled up in front of me, but I do know it's a big list. I don't know how many is excluded or included.
Makes sense. So if you're interested, go check out the Discord. That's what I'd say.
Yep, yeah.
Not bad. All right. So obviously, right now, congratulations. You sold out your premium INO NFTs in less than 30 minutes on Kabila earlier this week. You still have your basic INO NFTs out there. How long will they still be on the launch pad? Do you know?
Yeah, we appreciate everyone coming out, and we appreciate the huge sponsors and community members that went all out and kind of believed in H Panda and what he has going on, right? So first and foremost, thank you to the H Barbarians and community that showed up. I mean, it really opened up a lot of doors what H Panda is able to do now. He's already
Nice.
secured the HGraph key for the infrastructure, and he's already has other things moving on. So it really pushed to the next step to really get this going forward. Second part, the INO will end on Friday. This
Okay.
upcoming Friday will be closed. There's a lot of community members asking why we're closing it, why don't we leave it open. There's a lot of reasons why we need to close it. Right, we need to get the forever cards airdropped out. I know the community is wanting that. We have
Yeah.
to get the Fuse airdropped out, and we need to get the LP and full testnet start moving. And while you still have an INO going, it kind of slows things down going forward because potential funds is still coming in. You still have to release Fuse after one is being bought, so it's easier to just do a mass airdrop at once versus having INO keep rolling and
Yeah.
keep airdropping as days go by. So unfortunately, we will have to close that Friday. But like I said, we appreciate everyone that did show up and bought one. It really helped out.
So say if there's any basic INO NFTs left up until Friday, what will happen with those NFTs?
Yeah, obviously for like we said, the fuse reasons and stuff like that, I
Yeah.
think they would have to be burnt. I know Japan has kind of been thinking on that idea because, like I said, if it's for a fuse and then we launch and then we give a one out for marketing, say in a year, you're essentially giving someone Fuse token, that's already live. It's no longer an INO. I don't
Yeah.
know how that works out, liability wise and like for like legal reasons, the INO changing. So I would have to get more deep, detail with, H and Panda about that. But I would believe they would have to be burnt if I'm not wrong.
Okay. My thought process on this would be maybe set aside the total amount of fuse that you're planning on allocating to those basic INO NFTs, and then say if you were to keep them up on the launchpad or reintroduce a new launchpad to claim those or for people to buy them off your platform, you could have that reserved set of fuse tokens there to then compensate for those people who come along and want to buy the basic INO NFTs maybe if they miss out up until Friday. That's just a thought process of mine.
Yeah, for sure. We have also, I mean, we have talked about more what will happen with the tokens. We've
Sure.
talked about putting it more in the staking rewards or more in the the community rewards, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, that tokens that was supposed to go towards that, we've already kind of talked about like, let's still give it more back to the community, right? Let's put it back in the
Nice.
staking pool. Let's put it back into community rewards, stuff like that, that kind of, still give benefits for, holding the token as well,
Yeah.
right? Um, I don't know if I'm still interested on keeping it open longer as well because then you're
Makes sense.
almost giving people a set price that they could essentially buy at and then almost dump, right? So say like we launch a Fuse token and it goes up just for reference, guys, right?
Of course.
Goes up 15x, right? Well, now you can essentially go buy the INO at a 15% or 15x discount and then go drop it on the market that's already at 15x and like hurt the price substantially, right? So
That makes
when
sense.
it comes to tokenomics, yeah, you kind of have to get more into think about every scenario and what's best kind of for like the current holders, right? Because
Yeah.
that's your community, that's who's believed in you, so you don't want you know their value be diluted in a sense if we kept it open like that. But it's always an option, something me and Nature Panda need to talk about for sure.
Smart approach. And it's good that you're still, thinking it out and creatively finding out ways to make sure that the current holder base, the ones who supported you out the gates, won't necessarily be affected by anything that were to happen in the future. Only benefit.
For sure.
Nice. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about that I maybe not have asked about yet?
One thing we didn't really talk about is like how much testnet tools are currently live. So,
Sure.
we actually have a lot of the testnet tools live, like the liquidity locker, the token tools, the launchpad. That's all already kind of live on testnet. You can go on
Nice.
there, you can check it out. You can play with some of the stuff on with the testnet wallet and kind of give us updates. We did actually run a giveaway a couple of weeks ago when testnet first went live. For Fuse tokens, come on, test it out. Let us know what you think, any
Yeah.
errors and faults. And we'll actually open that back up when the Oderbook testnet goes live. So here soon, I know he's very excited to release a date, so I'm not going to give any date or anything, but very soon the Oderbook testnet will go live, and the same thing will open up in Discord. So if anyone wants to, help out the security or help out the, anything grammar, the design, anything off, essentially you'll get rewards for coming and checking out the testnet. So like I said, we do
Nice.
have mini testnet live, and the Orderbook should be coming very soon.
That's quite exciting. What excites you the most heading into all this?
I mean, this is my first time really, expanding into the ecosystem and doing what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
I've always been in DeFi. I love doing stuff like that. But even this graphic design that I'm doing, it's kind of a new venture, I've kind of, embodied over the past couple months. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited for 2025 and expand on those skills. I'm excited to see where Diffused Labs is going to go. Obviously, Hadera, the last week or so has been picking up a lot of steam and doing really good. It just seems like the vibes all around's really healthy right now. I know Christmas time's coming up, so I hope those
Mhm.
vibes carry over. And the start of the new year, man, it just everybody's cranking on, six cylinders, and our full test net is live, or some of the features is live on, regular net. So I'm excited for that.
That's incredible, and I'm excited for you guys as well. You guys are a very hardworking team. You've came a very long way, and it's really cool to see how far you've came as an individual as well, Paul. Like you're mentioning, picking up a lot more marketing and graphic design work, and seeing how you market all these different pieces of, I guess, articles and information on X and beyond. It's really cool to see just the growth because it starts at one point and you get to this point that you're currently at, and then you aim for new heights and new goals heading into the future. And I only see great things for you in this future, and it's going to be an exciting journey to be a part of as well. Because I mean, me personally and my company, we do hold your premium I know
Yeah.
NFTs. We bought some off of the Launchpad, and I just look forward to seeing everything that's coming.
Yeah, I very much appreciate that, man. And same towards you, Tate. You've been making these videos for a long time and supporting the HBAR ecosystem, and it's really cool to see builders continuing and innovating in this space, right? It's so easy to start something, get bored of it, and 6, 8 months later, be like, man, I don't want to do this no more.
True.
Same thing to yourself. You've been doing this for a long time. You've been here supporting your holders, supporting your community, providing great content. So let's just keep building, man.
Yeah, most definitely. I've been slacking though, I'll be honest. This is the first show in probably like over a month that I've recorded. So anybody who's tuning in until this point, I apologize. More content is coming, and just stay on the tune for more Tate on Chain
Yeah.
exclusivity. Oh my goodness.
It
But all
it's
right.
been a busy last couple months, right, man?
Yeah,
I mean, the
it has
last
been.
month with the HBAR ecosystem, obviously you and myself are holding spaces once a week now.
Mhm.
We got a lot going on in the HBAR ecosystem, a lot of mints, a lot of stuff happening. So it's almost hard to keep up, especially when are marketing for yourself in your
Yeah.
own brand and services. It's you almost get lost sometimes.
Yeah, you get lost in the sauce. But hey, yeah,
Yeah.
anybody tuning in up until this point, every Tuesday, what is it? Hedera Market Update with Tate and Paul. That's
Yep.
what it is.
Yep.
And what time do we host it at? It's like what, 6:30 Eastern Standard? No, it's 7:30 Eastern Standard.
Yep.
That's what it is.
7:30 Eastern, 6:30 CST US time. So we're holding it weekly, guys. Give everything a HBAR ecosystem update from what DeFi all the way to NFTs to
Pretty much.
projects and straight Hadera dev stuff. So
Yeah. We bring it all. That's for sure. My last question for you, Paul, would be simply speaking, what do you think the long term vision for Diffuse Labs is? And how do you plan to sustain and scale your platform in the evolving landscape of blockchain technology? And in this case, hashgraph technology.
yeah. So, long term, kind of like what we see for Diffuse Labs and ecosystem, essentially just a DeFi centralized hub that
Okay.
brings tools all the way, premium tools, all the way from basic and new users, all the way up to your more advanced traders. Right? We want to be able to provide for the whole ecosystem as a whole for all of DeFi services. Right? So that's kind of our long term goal, and I think how we kind of achieve that is we provide premium tools and premium services to the community. I
Sure.
think the community has lacked premium for so long. We've kind of just been, dealt with, kind of what there is. And I think we're going to take it to the next step with the premium tools and the premium services that our people are going to realize kind of what we're doing and why we're here.
Most definitely. Any closing thoughts?
No, guys. This was a great, great talk, Tate. As always, man, great
Of course.
questions, and it actually opened up a lot of things that I actually need to speak to HA Panda about.
Amazing. Well, I'm happy to be here to help, and I just look forward to everything that's to come. Amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, this has been the TateOnChain podcast with the one and only Diffused Labs and their CMO, Paul. Paul, it's been a pleasure as always. And if you enjoyed today's content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Ready to transform your learning experience? Step into the future with the Learn to Earn platform on Hadera. Choose how you learn. Academic books in hard copy or NFT form. That's right, NFTs. Whether you prefer the traditional feel or a digital interactive journey, the choice is yours. Dive into the NFT, not just for the book, but for all the tools you need for success. Download the book, access tests, all within a seamless, immersive interface. Forget traditional logins. Simply scan the QR code, connect to our platform, and start your Learn to Earn journey. Pass your tests and watch your success turn into real rewards with Gcoin, our exclusive digital currency. Imagine learning at your own pace, acing exams, and reaping tangible benefits. It's not just education, it's a transformative journey towards success. Join the future of learning at gilmore-estates.net. Scan, learn, earn. It's that simple, and it's revolutionary.